Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to spend some time here in the signature garden. We are going to plant some annuals in the aquapots. We got to do a little bit of chores and clean up the, as we called it, the critter corner, kind of the garden that really handles wet plants really well. And then we're going to take a quick little tour of the signature garden and the pergola bed, because the tulips have begun to bloom here at the nursery, and it is, oh my gosh, spring is here. It is fabulous. We've had a little bit of rain this morning, so it's nice and a little bit overcast right now, but we are going to bookend this videos with the fun items, and then we're going to sandwich the chore right there in the middle. So let me tell you what we're going to do as far as planting up the aquapots, because that's what we're going to do first. So here at the entrance to the signature garden, we have these two matte black, they're the flat rim traditional aquapots, and these are just more like little accent pieces, right? We want the garden to shine, but something just to kind of welcome people in. You can see that I still have the soil in from when I had mums from the fall. So we definitely need to give some love to these two aquapots. So what we'll do is we'll completely empty them out. Whenever we do the aquapots, take all that soil out. We're going to take them apart, rinse them out, get them nice and clean, and then start fresh. So I have the John Deere, Johnny, as we call him, right here, and I have got all my supplies. Now, what we're going to plant are these beautiful bright lights, both the purple and the pink. I love putting these two together. I did a container with these two a couple of years ago at the house, and I loved it. They just go together so well for me, and they are going to complement those tulips right there. That is the Beaujolais blend from Color Blends. So it complements it really well. Your osteos can handle those cooler temperatures, that fluctuation, so they do really well in early spring. They're only going to be about 8 to 12 inches tall, have that nice kind of short mounded habit to them. Putting them together, they're going to just blend together, intermingle, and have this gorgeous look to it. I don't want to make anything too tall, so I'm not going to have a thriller. I'm just going to have this beautiful mounded habit and no even spiller. Sometimes simple is best. So they're going to go in. Of course, I have the Proven Winners potting soil. I have the Biotone, the Proven Winners continuous release fertilizer to feed them, and then we will top dress with the Daddy Peat mulch. So we're going to do that first, and then give you a very quick little overview of what we're going to do here in the garden that can handle the wet temperatures. Wet conditions. Because we do have natural springs here at Creekside, we have areas that just historically stay very wet. So instead of fighting those areas, why not just lean into it and plant plants that really do well in those areas? So that's what we did here with this garden. You can see that we have that dry creek bed running through. We have a little island over here, and then this is the main portion of the flower bed there. When it rains, and when I say rains, I mean rains, this is going to be flowing with water, and then that cuts in front of the signature garden and then drains out. You can see that the weeds have taken over and are very happy. So this is my chore for today, is to come in here, get the weeds out, and then I'm going to lay down some of the mulch. We're going to put in that Daddy Peat layered, that is the aged pine bark fines. We like using it as a mulch because it's in bags, so it's really easy for me to do by myself, and I can easily move the mulch around. It does a great job at suppressing weeds. Of course, it looks good, and then it is that aged pine bark fines. So as it breaks down, it's adding the organic matter back into the landscape, which is what we want. So this is the chore, this is the work part of it, and then we're going to take a little peek at the tulips that are blooming. We have, like I said, Beaujolais is in this flower bed, this garden, and then we have Much Niceness that is in the bed right in front of the pergola. Y'all could not be happier with how they are doing. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you a little tulip tour, but first we're going to plant those aquapots, so let's get started. All right, my friends, so here we go. One of the great things that I absolutely love about the traditional aquapots is that you can easily take them apart, clean them, and get them nice and sanitized if you need to. I didn't have to sanitize mine and we didn't have any issues going on. I just completely took out all the soil, got the hose, rinsed it out, got everything nice and clean, and it is put back together. So, of course, if you don't know what an aquapot is, it is a self-watering container from Proven Winners, glazed ceramic pot with that insert in it. So what we're going to do is you first, of course, put your potting soil in, stop for a moment, and then make a fist, and make sure that your soil tube in the center is completely packed with soil, okay? So this makes a difference. You want to do that. And then you just go ahead and top it off. Because we're not going to necessarily always be watering this overhead, because it's a self-watering container, you can add a little bit more soil than maybe what you're normally used to. Typically when I do my containers, I like to leave a nice little lip so that when I can fill it up with water, the soil and everything, it doesn't overflow. So we have got potting soil in. Now, what I'm going to do is I am just going to go ahead and top dress here in the beginning with my fertilizers. So this is the continuous release. It's a time release, y'all. So this is going to take me through when I'm not doing the water-soluble fertilizer and gives that food. We're also going to use biotone. Yes, I use biotone with my annuals. It makes a huge difference. The plants are nice and vigorous and happy, so I do that. Again, top dress. Come in here, make a claw, do a little zhuzh. There you go. Now, we are going to do equal parts of the pink and the purple. So I have a 10-pack tray of each of them. So we're going to do 5 pinks, 5 purples. We're just going to get them planted in here. When you take them out of their containers, especially this time of year, y'all, these are not root bound whatsoever. So I would highly encourage you not to go in there and go crazy and break up your roots. You do not have to do that. So we're just going to kind of evenly space them as far as the purple and the pink, get them in here, and then when I'm done, I've got that Daddy Pete. We're going to top dress. We're going to go ahead and water them in, get your soil wet, and we're going to fill up our water tube until we see that water squirt out the back. And then we're done. We're going to do this one, and we're going to do the next one. All right, my friends, so we got both of the aquapots planted. Let me show you, and this one is still draining, so that way you can see what I mean when I say that it overflows. Great thing about those traditional aquapots is that it doesn't have a hole in the bottom like your traditional pots do. It has that little hole, and so that is how the container never overflows with water. Like, it doesn't become saturated because it has that little hole. I filled up the reservoir and then I watered it. So that's why it's draining so much, is because I really saturated it. You want to make sure that you saturate that soil when you first plant it to begin that wicking process. But these little guys are going to be so stinking sweet. Now, I did kind of overpack it than what I probably traditionally would by putting 10 of those in there. And that simply is because this is a display garden. I need to make a big impact as fast as I can. Some of you may say, well, I really would want to have a thriller in there. Well, great, go for it. You can absolutely do that, right? That's the beautiful thing about gardening, is that my garden looks different from your garden. Another reason that I don't do a thriller in here is because we are still fluctuating in temperatures, right? I mean, can get down into the mid-30s. These osteos can absolutely handle that. However, if I put a grass, a coleus, something like in that aspect, because that would be kind of my go-to, or a salvia and angelona, they would not be able to handle those colder temperatures and it would get zapped. This way, by using just those osteos, I don't have to worry about the temperatures. They're gonna be fine. They will be just happy and get nice and thick and full and beautiful. And this pot is gonna be like one mass of both of those colors popping through. It is going to be stunning. All right, now, what we get to do is the tedious part. We're gonna head over to kind of that wetland garden, and we are going to weed. Y'all, there's nothing special. You see a weed, you pull a weed. I've got my kneeling pad because one, it protects my knees. Both, it gives me some cushion, but it also, because it was wet and this is a wet garden, it's gonna keep my knees dry. So I've got my hori, I've got my gardening gloves, I've got a little container. I'm gonna fill it up with those weeds. As my container gets full, I'm gonna throw it in the back of Johnny. When we're all said and done, I can go dump that in one of those areas where we kind of recycle the green material and return it to the earth. And so, yeah, we're just gonna go weed. See a weed, pull a weed. That's my motto. Okay, my friends, today's work is complete. Almost got the project 100% done, but not quite. We're getting ready to have some rain, so I'm gonna have to call it quits, but I wanna show you the tulips and what I did get done. So we're just gonna recap right quick of what I got done. I will say, oh my gosh, y'all, the winter weeds, they were prolific and very happy in this garden. And I'll show you, Johnny, absolutely full of weeds. So I did the first little island first. So you can see that this is what the rest of it will look like once it is mulched. So I got all the weeds out, and then laying that Daddy peat down just makes such a world of difference in there. You can see the monardas are coming back so nicely. The little green, the little phlox is coming back, and then the Fothergilla, that's Legend of the Small, starting to put some little buds on as well. So this is where, oh my gosh, like you can see where I was just completely aerating right here. I mean, the weeds were just so thick, it was insane. This definitely is the area where it is the wettest, and I think in last fall when Chandler was aerating and laying down new seed, we got some fescue in there, and that was what was so the booger-boo, was to get that out. But everybody, yeah, just looks so much better not being covered up in weeds. You can see that the opening act phlox, this is ultra pink, is coming back quite nicely. And I was so happy to see that the spigilla, this is orange slices. Can you see right here? Oh, there's 4 lovely little clumps of it. And so this is a great native perennial. It's actually native to the southeast United States. And so hummingbirds love it. So I was very happy to see how that's doing. My Let's Dance Arebas are doing well too. They've got good growth down there in the bottom. We've even got some foliage up top. This is a reblooming macrophylla. Do not prune it until you know like what is alive and what's not. So, and when I say prune, all I would be doing is coming in, like these sticks right here look like they're dead. So that's all I would be doing, is pruning back things that are not alive. If you were to come in here and shear this back, you're going to lose your first set of flowers, and we certainly do not want to do that. So both of the arebas are doing well, especially not even being in the ground for a year. So happy with that. And then over here, we've got hostas coming up and the crested surf fern. So this is a Japanese painted fern. So it is coming back quite well. And then even my dark side of the moon astilbe, which is right there in front of the little mushrooms, they are doing good. And then look at the sweet little spot-ons. Just happy and perky and blooming their little sweet little heads off. So those look great as well. So that's kind of the update on that bed, we will get it mulched ASAP, because the longer you wait, the more the weeds come back. All right, so give you a little update on the tulips. So here we go. We have Beaujolais, and Beaujolais still has a long way to go, right? And turns out Beaujolais is more of a later bloomer blend than my other ones, which actually just works out just fine. But there's a total of 5 different tulips in this blend from Color Blends. Kind of started, you know, bloom at different times. Sweet, sweet little blooms. They will get taller as they grow, right? So people are like, why are they so short? Well, just give them a minute. They'll get taller. But there's a couple of singles, and then there was, I think, 2 doubles in there. Look at that. Is she not beautiful? Oh, absolutely love it. So let me come over here because the ones on the front side of the raised beds, they're blooming a little faster because it's a little bit warmer over there. Like, for example, now ignore, I just saw this giant weed, but see how much taller these guys are right here. So they're just a little bit more advanced. So they will come up taller and just beautiful. I mean, absolutely love this blend. So they're gonna come and fill in. So if you're coming to the garden center, of course, you can come and see us. And the Beaujolais is popping, I would say, by the end of this week. I suspect that they're gonna be nice and full. And then you can see, of course, the Globe Master Alliums. They are all sprouted. I did tell Jerry, I was like, okay, we're testing how straight you were, because he was the one that planted these, and he did really good on this line, except for a couple down there got a little off. That's okay. I just like giving him a hard time. And then, okay, so here we go. See how much more full these guys are right here. A little bit more popping out. Just so sweet. Love, love, love. And you can see why I chose the colors of the osteos that I did, because they really pair quite nicely. As I back up, and you can see the tulips and then the osteos. Nice little compliments to each other. So there you go on that. And then you can tell Brenna, she's over there by Johnny. She's ready to go. She's ready to go home. All right, let's walk over here. Now at the pergola bed, we call it the pergola bed because it's in front of the pergola. This was the blend Much Niceness. And Much Niceness has 3 flowers in it, 3 different bulbs in it. And I wanted it to complement Beaujolais, but not to be the exact same. So that was just a little something that I learned last year. And y'all, so there is a double, I would say a traditional, and then I forget what you call it, the tippy points on the top. Look at this. Oh my gosh, these look like peonies to me. Look how huge that thing is. Is it not stunning? I mean, it's almost now like an ivory color. When they first started coming out, see, this is a newer one. This is more yellow. And then as they age, it's almost like an ivory. And then look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? And then next door, you can see where we've got the purple right there. Oh, isn't it lovely? So lovely. So we are very, very happy with how these have turned out, complementing, of course, with the little lemon violas right there. But yeah, so they are doing great. So if you come to the nursery this week, just know that these are doing quite well. The ones at the house are pretty much done. The ones in the berm, pretty much done. So they're starting to lose petals. So now we begin the transition of going into the summer annuals and cleaning everything up. And yeah, but at least we get a stagger, so we get to enjoy those. So, all right, my friends, it is late in the afternoon. Miss B and I are tired. Sweet Thing just pulled up. I think we're all ready for an afternoon snack and a little time on the front porch to recoup and talk about our day, because even though we've been together all day, like on the property together all day, we haven't talked to each other really today. No, Have not. So we need to get caught up on each other's day. So y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.